All right, g'day guys, and welcome. My name is Michael, and I am the Dead Aussie Gamer, and welcome to Curse of Strahd, our D&D 5th edition adventure, which follows the tale of four wondrous people who have gone into the lands of Barovia in search of. I can't even remember what you were searching for. I believe some of you were searching for your students. Other people were searching for some gypsies to throw out of the nation. I mean, who knows? Right now, however, you are in search of a young lass who has been kidnapped from the Vistani and are currently seeking respite in a small windmill. Joining me, however, of course, on this epic adventure are my group of players who are wondrous and amazing, who are all Patreons of the Dead Aussie Gamer, and thus get to enjoy a quick game with me every week. Joining me, of course, is a person who is a very familiar face to the channel, which is, of course, none other than Immersion Diversion, who plays Vagag. Good evening, Neil. How you doing?
Pretty good, Michael. How are you doing?
I'm doing absolutely splendidly. What can you tell us about Vagag and his interpretation of the scenario in which he finds himself?
Vagag is a wizard. He's a teacher trying to find students, as Michael has said. He is very confused right now because he had a bat fly in to see what was up. The bat got eaten or something, and now we're here all confused because he tried reading. We're currently in a windmill owned by an old woman, and he tried reading her mind, and she only thought of making pies, which is confusing because he thought there was something entirely different going on.
Well, pies are delicious. All right, and next up, of course, also playing a very large raced creature, the Dragonborn, known as Argodius, played by the ever-wonderful and lovely Iron God Gaming, Charles. Hello, Charles.
Hello, Michael. How you doing?
I'm doing great, mate. Tell us about Argento and, of course, his current impressions of what's going on.
Well, Argento, he's, as you said, he's a bit of a large creature, dragonborn, not very trusting of many people. His background is very, I guess, guarded and shielded. So in any situation, he's always looking out for the negatives of what's going on around him. But for whatever reason, this time he seems to be a little bit more, I guess, at ease with what's going on around. Maybe it's the food, maybe it's something of that nature. But he is. That's it. It's the potato chips, maybe. But I think at this stage he's just sort of playing it by ear. He's really grown fond of the travelers he's going with. So I think he's starting to explore some newfound feelings and relationships he's having with some of the players. So he's really getting into the comfortability of them and the trusting of them. So we'll see how it plays out for him.
And they say that day that Argodius's heart grew 3 sizes. No, that is absolutely awesome, dude. All right, next up, of course, a near and dear friend of mine from Perth as well, the delightful Tim, playing the role of the even more delightful Satyr Domiro. G'day, Tim.
Hey, Michael.
Tell us about Domiro and, of course, his current impressions on what's happening, what's going on.
What is going on? That's a good question. There's rickety windmills popping up out of nowhere, just conveniently along the path that this guy took. Night falls, we can't keep pushing on through unknown land. So we head down here, and lo and behold, there's people living in this decrepit windmill. Well, not beating around the bush. Let's knock on the door, head in. Ah, what a lovely old lady. Nothing mysterious going on here with bubbling frogs and cackling and so Domiro not wanting to go in and assume the worst of everyone when he meets them, gives them the benefit of the doubt that they what's going on is what they say at face value. We'll see how that goes for him.
I haven't heard a joke.
Very cool, and very wise, I must say. All right, and of course, last but certainly not least, is of course the awesomely played role of the party's moral compass, played by McKinley, who is Esther, the Damn, I keep forgetting it. I want to say cleric.
Yes.
I'm a locking cleric.
Quick, yep.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Okay. G'day, Mac. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I am fantastic. Tell us about Esther, and of course the very incredible story that she has to share about her journey thus far.
Let me think. So Esther is a cleric. She has got herself into a bit of a web here, but I think that's kind of unavoidable. She's worried to see what's going to happen, in all honesty, but she's going to do her best to kind of keep everyone safe.
All right, and let's see if that is exactly what will happen in today's adventure. Now, guys, before we get started, as always, if you are a fan of the channel and you have seen us before, then you are fully aware that I don't like my audiences feeling like they're spectating and sitting around on the side. So always remember, guys, that throughout the course of the game, you can suggest anything you want in the chat, and I will be reading it. And so I will be able to take suggestions that you guys have from behind the DM screen and use them in the course of the game. Be aware that Neil also reads it, so... also, guys, if you would like to, you can give us a number between 1 to 51, and I will draw from this deck of random plot twists which I will then add to the course of the game. They might be used to benefit the players, they may be used against them. Whatever the case is, it'll be interesting nonetheless. Alright, without any further ado, let us begin. I stole that from Dread. He's getting me to say it, and I don't want. I don't know why. It's just.
Let us begin.
Yeah, or let us begin. That's his little standard catchphrase. All right.
Saying that with a little bubble pipe.
Yes.
Yeah, do you with the whole like lean back and bug-eyed?
Okay. All right. Here we go.
Yeah.
All right. Play this music. Play me off, Johnny. Look, I just want haunted instruments. Sorry, one second. I'm having some grindy lag issues. Here we go.
Fall down the stairs. I love it.
I love it. All right, there we go. All right. Our scene begins as we find our players, or our characters, should I say, at the top of the windmill. The grinding gear, as this huge fan blade spins in a cold breeze, is the only noise that can be heard as a dull roar, while Vagag, Argento, and Demiro are asleep. Their heads resting as they slumber into the realm of dreams. Vagag, would you describe to me a day in your youth as Vagag?
So he'd probably be out in an open field, opening a book. Most likely either teaching himself some more magic. Goliaths don't normally learn a whole lot of magic, but you know, they are able to still. So he's just relaxing in a field while his brothers and sisters are in the background hammering away at weapons. You know, he's trying to keep himself calm to concentrate on the understanding of arcana magics.
All right. As you place yourself under a tree, all of a sudden an apple drops on your head. From above, you can see another Goliath who seems to be eating, crunching on a very juicy apple. This is the woman who Vagag first fell in love with. Or person, should I say. Would you describe them for me?
Yes. She is a for a Goliath, she's fairly short. I know it's probably like It's funny to say short, but because so if Vagog is 8 feet tall, she's like 6'5". She's wearing a flower wreath, eating away at the apple that she just tossed down at me. Pretty hard. It bonked, but for Goliath, it feels like a little soft touch, but she chucks it.
She looks at you and she says with a smile on her face, "Well, that can't be that interesting. You're always sitting here with your nose in those books."
You'd be fairly, or well, what should I say? You'd be fairly interested. Magic can do a lot of things for everybody. It can be helpful. It could be, like, for instance, those soldiers over there, or those warriors. Magic could make them stronger.
I don't know.
I could also.
How about we ask them?
What?
She whistles. The four huge towering 9.5 foot tall Goliaths step over.
No.
Vagog thinks that you could be stronger with magic. What did you say, Pipsqueak?
No, not with magic. Just you guys are strong as you are. That is correct. And the bigger the weapons you hold, the stronger you are. However, I just think that if you had magic tied to you, you could be even stronger. That's why I'm learning magic. I could make you guys stronger.
They look at each other and then look at you. They then reach down and grab you by the shirt and lift you. And as they do, they say, "Is that what you think?"
No, not at all, sir.
They put you down and they say, "'Cause that's really interesting. Can you tell us more?" And they sort of all sit down in front of you. And they're just looking at you. Tell us about magic. Can it really make me stronger? Can it make Eric less ugly? Or shut up? And they...
Well, and this is kind of where his teaching moment starts. Well, there's, looking through his book, there's magic that can change a person's face. So you can look entirely different. You could look like another race, in fact.
We then have... They seem encapsulated in what you're saying as... We then move to the next scene where we see Demiro. Demiro, you remember the day that you left for your adventure. You were packing your bags. Describe the scene as you pack your bags to go out on your journey.
Well, the family is gathered around, helping pack everything up. There's drinks getting poured and somewhat of a bit of a celebration going on as everyone is equally excited for the new journey and the all the possibilities that await.
You hear a voice coming from downstairs. It calls to you for breakfast. Whose voice is it?
That's Dad.
Demiro! Demiro! Are you going to eat before you leave?
Am I going to eat? I'm not going to stop.
Look, you'll get plenty of good cooking and good food all the way up in the northern reaches. But you're only going to get my food one more time.
No, I mean, I'm not going to stop eating.
He chortles. Well, at least when you leave, I'll at least have more of a house and home to keep.
You'll miss me.
Yeah, you're right there. Listen, I have something for you. It's not much, but I know you've had your eye on it for quite some time. He goes over to a mantle and retrieves something from underneath a portrait of his father. And as he hands it to you, you see inside is a set of panpipes.
Oh, at least for me.
These are for you. You know, some people say that the wind carries the fey creatures across this land, and that every now and then they'll stop to make beautiful music. And it was
You say that, Dad.
I do. That's because my dad told me. And now I'm telling you. And then you'll tell your lad.
I'll try them out.
They sound pristine. The bones that they are carved from are supposed to be the bones of an ancient forest dragon. So the rumor has it. No matter how much weathering or age goes by, they don't ever seem to what's the word? To tarnish or to chip or anything.
Nice. How old are these?
He looks at you and smiles yet again, and he says, "It's been a long trek. Sad to see you go, but can't wait to get you out of my house."
But what about breakfast?
He turns and he sort of you look behind him. There is a roasted butternut squash that has been hollowed out and filled with all of your favorite breakfast foods. You could see a huge, tall, heaping glass of freshly squeezed avaya bean, which is a very special thing that they grow in this region. And, of course, several slices of fresh lempat bread.
Sweet.
Sweet, savory, and salty. They're all here as you begin to tuck in for your meal. Argento. There is darkness all around you.
Yes.
And as you look around, you see yourself. But as you truly feel you see yourself, describe the vision of your character. What does Argento see?
He looks very rugged. He looks very torn and rough and sort of almost grotesque in a way. He seems very battered and worn down by the experiences of, I guess, his own life and his own history and his own past.
He looks to you, Argento, and as he does, he says, "Wake up. Wake up!"
Argento would sort of respond in a way of I guess being a bit confronted by that, dreary-headed and very weary about what's happening and why. What's this meaning to wake up? As in, what way are we talking of? He's I guess confronted by his own inner demons here of waking up to what? Is it the fear within him, or is it the fear around him, or is it what he's missing out on, what he's seeing?
You can see that next to him, he's pointing at a large warhammer. The warhammer is resting on top of a small piece of paper, a scrolled up parchment with kind of the tips of it burnt. All he says is, "Wake up, Argento!" And he points at the warhammer.
Yeah. That definitely would make Argento feel memories of his past and the warhammer itself, how he come about getting the warhammer. And it would be realizing that this was his inner spirit of someone who was very dear to Argento, probably the only person besides his family, his little sister, that he would have this, I guess, deep admiration and love for.
All right. Back in the bone grinder, Esther, you stand before what was once a withered old woman, but is now a kind of a young, very, very attractive Caucasian woman wearing the same garbs as the hag that you had seen upon entering the bone grinder. The difference is, you now recognize her in full for what she is. This is no mere witch. This is no mere conjurer of cheap tricks. This is a hag. A creature born of witchcraft. A malevolent, capricious, and evil entity. She looks to you and once again she says, I welcome you, sister. You have sanctuary here.
Esther kind of relaxes her pose a bit and says, it's an honor to be in the presence of such ladies.
Ah, you are too kind. But those you travel with, they are strong in vitality. I see why you keep them so close, and why... And she reaches up with kind of a smooth finger and touches the side of your cheek. And she says, and how you have stayed so... young. She then moves past you.
She turns and just looks at wherever she's going.
She walks over to the window and looks out into the landscape. But if you are coming seeking a way out of the lands of Barovia, I cannot help you, child. For the master of this land has power even greater than me and the Coven. We have only managed to secure but the smallest sliver for our own. Even now, we must resort to disguises, as she wipes her hand across her face and reverts back to the hideous old lady. And subterfuge to hide among the people here, xenophobic and scared of the dark. But we have our ways, me and my sisters. Perhaps you would care to stay a while, learn the ways of Barovia's witchcraft.
Is there any place to sit?
You see a chair by what looks to be some kind of strange stitching, you know, the kind of thing that, what do they call it? You know, when you stitch stuff in the big circle thing. Anyway.
I think it was called cross-stitching?
Cross-stitching, yeah. However, as soon as you sit down, your mind sort of begins to re-grasp onto reality, and you see that it's not a cross-stitch embroidery type thing. It's actually a dream catcher. A stick with lots of twine kind of interwoven into a mystical pattern. These things are used to trap dreamers in fantasies.
I was just gonna say, you make quite the offer, but unfortunately, my work requires its obligations.
You hear the sound of scratching on the windowsill as her nails dig deep into the sill at your refusal. She doesn't turn around, she still continues to face away, but you see the wood kind of curls up with her nails as she does so.
Now, I never said I refused, I just meant I need to understand what you do a bit more before I can make my choice.
What we do, sister, is we ensure that the old ways are never forgotten. That those of us who speak in the whispered words of the dark magics can still be heard even as far as Barovia. Yes, Strahd. His name bears might, but our mistress is far older than that vampire, and this land has forgotten. and on occasion need some reminding. She says, "Come, let me show you."
I stand up and I walk towards her.
She'll head down the stairs, leading the way down into the lower level.
I keep going.
Very well. As this happens, we return now to Vagag. Vagag, it is your graduation day. The graduation ceremony is at hand, and you have now been a qualified teacher. The university that you've attended is quite prestigious, and you stand alone atop a large podium with your friends and colleagues, heads and shoulders above the others in your field, because, of course, you are the only Goliath. You look out on the crowd as you see all of your fellow classmates receiving their accolades. Alas, not a single Goliath in sight. And now the honorary head of this year's graduates from the University of Olkmenak, Vagag.
I'll walk up.
As this happens, you kind of begin to make your way across as he hands you your scroll of diploma. And he says, "You have done some fine work.
Thank you, sir. I hope not to disappoint.
I highly doubt that, son. You have done you and your people very proud." He reaches up to shake your hand, and as he does, you notice something. In the distance, there is a small tree, and you hear the sound of a crunch from an apple. And watching from just behind the crowd is the silhouette of a Goliath woman. Now older, taller, more lean, more athletic. Hair tied up in a ponytail. It is towards the sun, so you can't quite see it. But what do you do when you see that?
I just kind of take a look and get the, assuming that after once the ceremony would be over, I'd head over to that tree, but we're at the ceremony still. I kind of just keep looking past him at the tree, a little distracted.
The second time you look at the tree, the figure seems to have disappeared.
And I look at him and I, finish the shaking and I take the diploma.
Very well. Demiro,
Yes.
you are playing the panpipe atop a grand waterfall. The sound of your breath blowing through the panpipes is only accented by the whistling of the roaring tides that pour over the edges of this large waterfall, crashing to the ground below. As you sit there, you think and you ponder on the ways and the freedoms that are now afforded to you. No one ties you down. Your fealty to no kingdom and no place is now fresh in your mind as the music beats in your heart along with nature itself. However, you notice something in the waters of the river. As you look down, what do you see?
Ooh, there's something shiny down there.
Looking into the water, there's a glint, something concealed by several large rocks and the like. As you reach into the water... Oh, wait, sorry. My apologies. Do you reach into the water to try and grab it?
Yeah.
All right. As you reach into the water, you find yourself grabbing onto what looks to be a smooth golden ring.
This looks precious.
You hold it in your hand and definitely feel that this is a solid gold ring. And as soon as this happens, a voice comes from the waters. You there, honored soul.
Hello.
Your music, Your music brings joy and happiness. But the ring you hold in your hand is meant for another. Please.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry. Here you go.
Oh, thank you. She takes it from you. For your kindness, I shall offer you one in return. Please, take this with the blessings. She basically takes like another pitcher of plants, those kind of plant things, and swoops and scoops up what looks to be a pitcher filled with the waters from the river that she's in. Take and drink, for it is the essence of the waves. Feel it inside your soul.
I'll drink that up. That sounds like something good to have.
You take a drink, and as you do, you're like, this is water! No.
Salt water.
It's like, where's the beer? No. Actually, yes. As you drink it, there is a slight sweetness to the water, and doing so, you suddenly find yourself taking a deep breath as you step your first step onto a boat on the docks near an ocean. Meanwhile,
Hero's on a quest.
Argento. In front of Argento is the hammer, his war hammer, still on top of the parchment of paper. The visage of Argento in his mind, withered, worn, and tired, just repeating the phrase, "Wake up!"
Yeah, I think it would be, this is where Argento may actually wake himself up. The yelling would ultimately ring in his head so much that it would probably wake him from his sleep.
Well, that'll come down to what you actually do. Nice try, though. Full points for effort. I wake up.
The
Nice
reason
try.
is because obviously the Warhammer is meant to make it to where I can't be surprised by anything. So maybe that was why I was planning on that. We'll see. But that would be his own mental self saying, get up. You need to get up.
All right. So you kind of try to focus. So as Argento is in this darkened space, the Warhammer in front of him, the person, he's sitting there going, "Wake up, wake up, wake up."
Yeah.
But it does not seem to take hold.
Interesting. So yes, this would be where he would be starting to get frustrated with the idea that it's I need to wake up. I need to do something. He's starting to feel a little helpless now. Something he's not used to being. He's used to being able to spring to action and to fight and to control these things, and the fact that he's unable to do this now would be weighing on him.
All right. Argento kind of gets the impression that as he's struggling to force himself awake, that there may possibly be something that he might be able to take action with in order to wake himself up.
Yeah. So I think he would grab the parchment. You would maybe see like what's this? Clearly there's a warhammer and it's holding this parchment down. What's on this parchment?
All right. As you place your hand on the parchment, there's another hand that wraps around Argento's. It is the hand of what looks to be a dead Goliath, body rotted and decayed. It wears heavy armor and just clings tightly, like fiercely, to the Dragonborn's arm.
My first reaction would be to try and fight it, but upon realizing that it's the hand of a Goliath, I may surrender myself to its pull and just not fight against it.
Your instinct is initially to pull it away, but then as you stop, you see, of course, in front of you a familiar face, the face of Gundar. As he takes a moment, he kind of has a look. He doesn't look like he's trying to frighten you or he's trying to attack you. It looks as though he is somewhat at peace and has been since disturbed. As he holds onto it, he seems to reach down and hand you something, placing it firmly in your grasp. It is the parchment that you were reaching for.
Yeah. I would take the parchment, but I would continue staring at Gundar, somewhat a bit emotional about seeing him again, but also wondering why I'm seeing him again. I haven't seen him since the last time when I saw him when he was alive. So I'd be a bit, why is he coming to me now? Maybe I would even ask him, why are you here?
He opens his mouth, but dust comes out of his mouth. He instead looks down at the hammer, and he picks it up. He swings it with the same expertise you know him to have before he rests it and hands it to you. And the words that resonate with your mind, this hammer is now yours.
Yeah.
Wield it wisely and keep it close. Do you take the hammer from him?
Absolutely.
As you do so, I need you to make me a wisdom saving throw.
Sure.
Does Jinto take a weapon? What sort of question is that?
Does I need to take the weapon?
Demiro starts singing.
I don't know. Does
Bardic Inspiration.
I was gonna say, does Demiro take the alcohol?
Demiro starts
alcohol?
sleep singing. Bardic Inspiration on Jinto.
All right. Okay. With a 16, you do indeed awaken Demiro. But as you do so, let me just... Sorry, not Demiro. Argento, yes, sorry.
Sorry.
Jinto awakens Demiro.
He kicks him in the face. No, what? No.
Indeed. Let me...
Wisdom check. Ah.
All right, let me just get this map up and running super quick. All right, there we go. And then boop for our audience so that our audience can see the map. There we go. All right. Argento, as you awaken, you see a blue, wrinkled old woman with large horns on her head standing over Vagag. She reaches down and sort of seems to grab him by like the top of his hair and pulls out what looks to be a gnarled and twisted looking knife.
Yeah. Argento would sort of make sure he's got his bearings first. He seems to be a little bit sort of jerked awake, making sure he's still dreaming or not, but he realizes he's not. So first reaction would be to roar as loud as he could at the woman. Hey!
Nice.
What are you doing?
All right. Argento, that is what you do. Meanwhile, downstairs, the old woman has taken Esther down back to the cart filled with an assortment of, the kind of baked goods and ingredients and the like. She turns and she says, Barovia is filled with the paranoid, but also the hungry. We have managed to follow the old ways and ensure that they remain docile and frightened of the woods and the wilder places. Behold, as she takes up what looks to be a tiny pie and hands it to Esther.
Oh, sorry. Were you waiting for me or were you good?
Yeah, I'm waiting for you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. She hands you a pie. It's a tiny pie.
Tiny pie. I hold it. And I just kind of look at it.
All right. Also, welcome to our raiders at GPU_TTV. Welcome. My name is Michael. I'm the Dead Aussie Gamer. We're playing Curse of Strahd. I hope you guys have a love and a lust for horror, because that is what this is about to turn into. So yes, thank you very much. All right. So, The pie you hold in your hand looks like a apple pie. Looks like a very beautifully dusted with sugar. It smells sweet, but much like the crochet that you found, you know that there's a witch's enchantment about it. The old woman says, "Take a closer look, my dear. As a fellow witch, I'm sure that this illusion is but child's play to you." You take a closer look. Make a wisdom save as you do so. Mike is coming in with up and down volume. Is that just me? Oh, no, that could just be me. I'm just weird. With a 10. Nope, that's perfectly fine. All right. With a 10, you take a close look. And as you do, you see a human face in the pie crust. At first you think maybe it's a decoration, but it's far too detailed. Far, far too detailed. It is locked in a visage of horror. And you realize very quickly from the smell, this pie is a meat pie.
You see, my dear, there are many who travel through Barovia that go missing on the roads, poor, lost and wandering souls. But it comes to old Morgantha to remind people of the dangers of wandering the wilderness at night, and thus I feed the fear directly to the people.
Esther actually looks at the pie and kind of looks up, not with, she's trying to hold back the fear, but, the worry, but she actually looks kind of like with woe and understanding, like, "Oh, this is an unfortunate situation, my dear. You see, with my work, I am meant to keep bodies in their working condition, whether they're dead or alive. I'm meant to constrict them into labor, but that means I cannot consume any part of their bodies, consume anything they leave behind. I hope you understand."
Oh, of course, but we don't eat these pies, my dear. No, no, no. We serve them to the people. Ain't that delightfully wicked? Being able to serve their own kin to themselves. Oh, like that little thing you have there. Oh, I made about a half dozen of them out of that poor little girl. And already managed to feed them to her family and her pastor.
Surely they know about this if you mean to scare them.
Oh, of course. You see, my sisters and I, we specialize in dreams, my dear. Showing people a way that things could be. Or at least they should be. We show people through these pies the visions of the final moments of their loved ones, kicking and screaming in the dark.
Surely that must be rather effective. And she kind of smiles, but it's very, she's trying to make sure it doesn't look fake, but it's rather fake.
She, the old witch kind of gets close to you, so close that you can kind of smell garlic hanging from her breath. She says, "Why, yes, my dear, it is so effective. And that's why, of course, as a fellow witch, I would love the opportunity to share my secrets with you. Learn the dream magics so that you might be able to continue what we're doing here with our tiny coven." And them boys you brought in are just the exact size for our test. At this point, you hear this roaring, "What are you doing?" coming from up top. She looks up and she sort of hisses, "Ah, they're awake. Shh." All right, we're going to fly into initiative as the battle ensues. All right.
Oh no!
Are we still wounded?
I will give you some of your hit points back, but not a lot of them, because I hate you.
Can
No.
we just use our hit dice in a short rest?
Yes. That is what I mean, but you can have a few. But I think everyone's full health.
Has
We just did
one
long rest.
question. Has 8 hours passed for mage armor?
Yes, it has.
Okay, I took it off, so.
Okay. Boom, and let's go into the hag battle.
Oh no.
All right. Vagag, you are on the ground when you are suddenly shook awoke.
She
There
still
you
got
see-
me by the hair.
There you see Argento kind of looking in your direction, and you are sitting there with your hair being pulled and a knife to your throat. This tall, gnarled, blue-skinned witch stands over you.
What is the meaning of this?
The meaning?
What someone with a knife to the throat would say.
Oh, I don't know.
When they're made of stone, of course.
She says,
You, my dear, I mean to cook you into a pie and feed you to your friends. You would be a most succulent of pies.
I'm gonna try and throw her off the bridge, or off the tower.
you are inside the attic, not on top of
Oh.
the roof.
There's
And you
no
also
windows.
throw through
You
the
can
wall.
push her through the wall if you want to try.
just break the wall. All right, might as well. I'll try it. Oh,
Intrepid.
let's try and smash her up against the wall.
Okay, very well. Make an athletics check as you... Vigag's volume is a bit low. I will fix that.
13.
Say again?
13.
Perfect. Okay. Yes, with a 13, you charge into her, but let's see if she goes... Oh, man.
God.
So, with one hand, you are stopped. She looks at you and with a crooked, wicked-toothed grin. My, aren't you the feisty one? But we need to do something about that. She reaches down, and as she does, you feel your energy draining from your neck. Let's see if this works. No, it will. Yeah, oh, absolutely will. Bam! You deal half damage on strength effects
What?
as she touches you, and you feel your strength draining as you become enfeebled at her touch. She looks to Argento.
I'll get you, my pretty, and your little satyr, too.
Speaking of Demiro, you
I am a pretty satyr.
you are a pretty satyr. Speaking of the pretty satyr's turn is now on. So you as well shake your head and awake to Vagag's cries.
That was a shame. That was a really nice dream.
Oh, that's okay, my dear. I'll ensure that you dream for far longer.
Oh, well, you insist, but I mean, I hate to say that the name of this spell is appropriate, but I cast Hideous Laughter, not just because she's hideous.
Very well. All right.
Which one is it?
Which one is it? It is Bella Sunbane, which allow me to share this map with you guys.
Bella.
Oh, yes, sorry, I did forget something. By the way, if you are joining us for the very first time, first of all, a super, super big welcome to my channel. Also, we do something with our audience members that we do just because we like playing with our audience. If you give me a number between 1 to 51, I will add it to a deck of plot twists that I'm currently using. And you can actually influence the course of the game through plot twists. So, yeah, throw out those numbers and I'll grab them for you. All right. So, wow. Okay, so she makes her saving throw as you attempt to cause her to laugh. She is, of course, still hideously laughing. It's just not debilitating. All right.
Lolly spree.
Next up, we move on to Morgantha. She moves up the flight of stairs to the next room.
I'll also just use my bonus action to
Oh, yeah.
inspire Argento.
To inspire Argento. Ooh, very nice. Okay, very well. What do you say to Argento, or how do you inspire them?
Argento! Come on, man. I was in the middle of a dream. Let's sort this stuff out.
That's not really inspiring. Aim for the hornet's nest.
Hurry up
Alright.
so I can get back to sleep.
All right, there you go, there you go. All right. Next up, of course, is Morgantha, who walks up the flight of stairs ahead of Esther. You watch as her hands grow into these large, kind of hooked claws as she says, curses. She turns and she says, "You don't have any sleeping powder or nightshade, do you, my dear?" To Esther.
Esther's just gonna look out. I can still see her. Can I?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's just at the top of the stairs.
Okay. Rather, how's about a trade?
A trade, you say? I'm listening.
Would you like me to wait until my turn or go ahead and say it now?
You can say it now. She's got the rest of her turn.
Okay. I know the magic y'all deal with can be a bit more abstract. I take off the headband of intellect. I will trade my memories of ever having this, and I will trade it if those boys are let go.
She thinks for a moment, looking at your crown or your tiara with very covetous eyes.
You would give us something just for the lives of those men? What are they to you?
Some call them meat shields. I call it allies. Whatever you prefer.
She would call
I
us.
just rather they be alive.
All right.
Morgana would call us meat pies.
I want you to roll me a percentage check here because I have a solution, but I don't know if I want to play it. I'm on the fence here. It's going to come down to what you roll in your percentage.
And am I allowed to use inspiration on this?
Sure.
Okay, I don't have to.
Yeah, I'll allow it though.
It's okay. If you'd rather not. Okay, that's how I do percentage. Do it. And go. And go.
92.
So in my campaigns, higher always means
Good stuff.
good stuff for the players. So I'm going to be playing 2 plot twist cards that have been given from our audience members.
Whoa.
The first is number 30, From the Shadows. The second plot twist is Where'd That Come From? Which is number 27. So thank you to both of those for the plot twist. She looks like the witch is about to say no. Suddenly, her eyes go wide. almost as if she's seen a ghost. For a brief moment, you see a look of concern, maybe even fear. She gazes past Esther, and you can see the reflection of the glass of the window leading out into Barovia. And you see the figure of a large, imposing noble. He raises a hand to his lips. And with a glowing red-eyed gaze, the witch suddenly says,
You know, I think I might take you on that offer, my dear, but your friends must leave. They must leave now. You may not stay here the night. And rest assured, if you come back here again, this trinket is not going to buy your safety.
She looks at you.
Do we have an accord?
I believe we finally have our deal.
She sort of grinds her teeth together, and she looks back in the window, and the figure disappears once again. As you make your way up to the top, Argento, Demiro, Vagag, you hear a voice calling out, Stop! Don't harm them. Vagag, the knife is still pushed to your side as the witch next to you goes,
What, sister? Have you lost your sensibilities? They have donated tribute to the Queen. They are free to go, with the Mother's blessing. Surely you jest. These are men, they know nothing of the Mother's blessing. We shall spill their blood in her name. Sister, be warned. You trifle with things you don't understand. To heck with what I don't understand. I will gut this one like a...
And as she looks like she's about to thrust the knife into Vagag's neck, her hand is just missing. She looks down. The cut is so clean, it actually takes a few seconds before blood begins to pour. She cries out in agony. The two hags then move over to their sister. Sister, what has become of you? The only one who does not look surprised is Morgana. You three. You may leave, but do so. And never return. Bagag?
Can I attempt to quick grab the knife that dropped?
Sorry, the knife?
Yeah, or is it just entirely gone like that?
No. Yeah. No, you can grab the knife. The knife is being clutched onto by a severed hand. It's gnarled and twisted and clutching it tightly. You can take the hand or you can try to pry it out of it. Either or.
Okay. I was gonna try and unnoticingly grab the hand.
Everyone is very distracted by the severed appendage, yes.
Okay. Then yeah, I'll grab the hand and the knife.
Alright, you grab the hand and you don't take the hand, you just take the knife? Or do you want to take the hand and the knife?
Well, it's kind of quick, so I'll take the hand and the knife and pocket them.
Sure, you take the hand and the knife and you quickly pocket it. Do you guys say anything or do you guys turn and leave? What do you guys do?
Assuming they told us we can leave, I guess we should probably go. Argento Demiro, what do you think?
Yeah. I would make
to overstay our welcome.
Yeah, I would definitely start to make our way down, keeping my eyes on them. And of course, Argento would have to say, "You better hope I don't come back."
They cower in pain and fear. They don't hiss at you, but they definitely kind of give you the evil eye.
Yeah.
Some of them try to hex you on your way out, Yeah, yeah, they do that. They do
Shit
the
lightning
whole
out
thing.
of their fingers.
Yeah, exactly. As
Wave her hand at her.
Wave her hand. Well, you don't have it, but yes, you end up leaving. Now,
Whilst our time was cut short, thank you for your brief hospitality.
was that a joke about her cutting off her hand?
No, but it can be.
All right. So, with with much haste and little warning, you leave the witch's windmill and begin to make your way away from the area. Esther, you have a moment in order to tell everyone what had happened and anything you'd like to share, because thanks to yet another plot twist number 10, you guys have a nice trip to your next checkpoint. So no random encounters, no sudden deaths. So your night, even though it is dragged on, is not hindered by turmoil.
Esther, are you okay? We didn't.
Yeah.
Like, you were
I'm
down
alright.
below when we were getting attacked at the top.
Mhm.
What happened?
Esther actually kind of looks a bit confused because she did also trade the memory of ever having the headband of intellect, so she can't remember having it. She just said, I made a trade for your laughs. I don't remember what I gave, though.
Do I notice anything from her, like, missing?
You notice she does not seem to have the circlet that she used to wear above her head.
What happened to your headband?
Headband?
I kind of point to my head, like point to her forehead. You were wearing a headband?
I don't recall if I ever had one. I'm sorry.
Hmm. Argento would kind of growl at you a little bit and say, "Why would you trade anything? I wouldn't have traded anything with those ladies. I could have taken." He's more just upset at the fact that you've had to give something for us, and he feels guilty about it. So his only way to respond is to be angry.
And you didn't get to fight.
That's right. You denied me of the right to fight. He is concerned. He's clearly, you can tell he's concerned. He's just upset, obviously, as to what's happened.
I'm gonna take out a little, like, cloth with some, open up my water skin and use shape water to pull water out and put it in the towel to kind of dampen it. And I hand it to Esther.
Hang on, sorry, Neil, you're a little bit soft. Just could you speak in the mic a little bit clearer?
Yeah, sorry. So yeah, I just pull the. Am I good by though?
Yeah,
By the
you're
way
good.
now? Okay. Yep. All right. So I just I would take out my like a water skin that has some water in it, and you shape water with some cloth that I have to dampen it, and then I say to Esther, I give here Esther, just to kind of cool down a bit. That was definitely a endeavor. And I hand her the towel.
Taking the towel, Esther, you kind of it's cool to the touch, and it kind of helps. There's definitely a large piece of you that you feel is no longer a part of you. That is when you look down and realize something. In your hand, you still clutch a tiny pie with a human face on it.
I hold it up. Can they see the face too?
No, they see a delicious-looking apple pie with very, very crisp, golden baked edges, a thin layer of powdered sugar, so soft and so delicate, even the small breeze causes some of the sugar to like waft up into your nose.
I take it back.
I feel like Charles is like, God damn it, what have I signed in for? Every time Michael describes food, God damn it.
Sniffing at the
I'm
wind.
always like, like, oh,
Are you going to eat that?
She pauses for a second. Can you not see what it is?
Like a delicious apple pie.
Yes. It looks delicious. Smells delicious.
It's a meat
tastes
pie.
delicious. I've already eaten it. No, just kidding.
Well, maybe we could share.
Yes.
She gets a bit impatient. It's a meat pie. They're tricking them. These are made of people. And they were going
People.
to change y'all into those pies. I couldn't let that happen.
What
Well,
makes sense about
I would make a really nice pie.
them?
Understandable, really.
So what happened with the girl? Wasn't she there?
She's still there. I'm sorry.
She's still there?
I think, I don't know.
Well, then we need to go back and get her, correct? I mean, that's what we came here for.
I didn't see anyone there.
Maybe she was hiding in a secret room or something?
Hmm.
Maybe.
We have to do something about these witches. Tell people about what they do. We can't take them all alone, but maybe there's people out there who can help us. Something.
We could get a witch hunt going. Burn the witches. Do they weigh more than a duck? Wait, do they weigh more than ducks?
They weigh
Wait, less than
they weigh
ducks?
almost more than a duck.
No.
They're not witches. No. They have to weigh less than a duck to be a witch. What do you think, Esther? Should we go back?
One second.
Or should we? Yep, you're good.
Would I would have seen the reflection of the nobleman, right?
You did not.
Oh, I did not. Okay, just want to make sure.
Yeah, it was like behind you.
Behind. Okay, I thought that was like
Like
the glass
a-
reflection thing. Okay, just want to make sure.
Yep.
Sorry.
You're good.
I don't know what to do. She just says that.
Well, I hate to be the morbid one here, but is it possible that the girl we're looking for is in this pie?
How could you even suggest that? I mean,
She said it was made of people. I didn't see a girl there.
We weren't far behind the man with her, though. That would be
Yeah.
I
I'm
take a
just
good look at
saying.
the pie.
for him to head in there, drop her off, her be turned into a pie, and him leave.
Ugh,
It'd
Could
no.
be more, well, I mean,
be tough.
do we
I
have
think you
reason
made a
to
good
believe
point.
them when they say that it's her in the pie?
Does
Mhm.
that mean we failed?
You look at the pie's face, Esther, and you can tell it is not Abigail. It seems to be maybe a male face.
Mhm.
The night begins to continue on, and rain falls down from above. You continue hardily through, enduring the cold winds and the biting night, until eventually you can see at the end of the road what looks to be another small town. Lights flicker as the sun begins to rise. Well, I say the sun rises, as it feels like daytime is suddenly upon the night that is shrouded in Barovia. And you can hear the sounds of music in the distance. music in the distance.
Do you guys hear that? I know you hear it, Demiro.
That sounds like the gypsies we met.
Indeed it does. However, the music does not seem to be coming from the outskirts of the village, but instead at its dead center. As you make your way, you eventually see the town of Valaki. Or as I like to say, Valaki.
Lucky.
Schwachty.
A small and quiet little town just south of the immense lake, which is Lake Zarovich. There it is on the map there for you guys as well. All right. As you arrive in town, there is people setting up for the day, and everyone seems to have a smile plastered on their face. Not literally, but everyone is smiling. Good morning, good morning, good morning, 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 good sir. How's the travels been? Oh, it is good to see you. Welcome, welcome. As you make your way, some people pat you on the back and some people give you a thumbs up. Little children laugh and travel through the streets. In fact, there isn't a sad face to be seen in town at all.
Was that what happened to the witch? Because that was Bella, right?
Yeah. You see one person, one person swinging around and singing songs, being mean to everyone in town. Everyone calls her Belle. The town's local hero, who protects them from dire wolves, wants to marry her, but apparently she's too good for him because she reads, which isn't actually a privilege given to many of the lower classes, which she lords over everyone else, despite their clear caste set distinctions. Sorry, whoa, we're on an entirely different
Here to do a witch.
Yeah. All right. Suddenly,
I'll join in with some of the songs.
Excellent. Pulling out your panpipes, you
Morning.
Good morning. Good morning. How fareth thee, fair travellers? Excellent! I'm glad to hear it. Here, have an apple. They throw an apple at you. The guy gets hit in the side of the head with an apple.
More apples.
Now, all of a sudden, you see what appears to be a tall man on stilts. A black and white clown with these two long, drooping, jingly bells. You know those jester hats? It's got like two long appendages. And he says, welcome, welcome, come one, come all, to the greatest celebration of the year, the Wolf's Head Jamboree. Attendance with children are required. Pikes provided. Here, have a pike. You have a pike. He starts throwing pikes into the crowd from his pants. People catch them, people cheer. Everything be well. All is well in the town of Lucky. Hello, sir! He leans forward, and as he does, you see this kind of masquerade mark going, how about you, sir? Would you like a pike for the festivities today?
What was the pike for?
Absolutely.
Excellent! He does a forward flip, and as he does, the pants sort of fold outwards, and you realize that he was actually upside down this whole time, and you see a human face holding two pikes, and he hands one to Demiro, one to Argento. He then reaches back in and pulls up two more pikes and hands one to Esther and Vagag. There you are, sir. There you are.
Wonderful. What is it for exactly?
Well, the Wolf Head Jamboree, of course.
Of
yes.
course. Oh, how could we forget?
That's right. Today is the Festival of the Wolf's Head, a day that we use to celebrate amazing feats of slaying wolves and putting their heads up in pikes.
Of course. It does sound like quite the celebration.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. It is the highlight of the year, every single year. Everyone who wishes
With all
to.
this celebrating going on, I don't suppose you've noticed anyone rushing through, not joining in the celebration?
He sort of puts his hands on his waist and he does like a cartwheel to a headstand, and then you watch as the clown reemerges and it scratches its chin. A stranger, you say? Someone who has traveled through town and not stopped for festivities? He looks around and says, I don't know. He looks directly at you. It depends. Are you staying for the festivities?
Oh, of course, we're staying for the festivities.
Well then, no one ever turns down the festivities. Once you come to the town of Valaki, you'll want to stay forever.
Oh,
Because it's so
wonderful.
much fun! As he cartwheels yet again and continues handing out pikes to children.
I slightly hand mine off to Argento. Still taking part in festivities. I can't use pikes. So I was just like, here you go. Just gotta be.
Got two of them.
Now, as you make your way through town, eventually you come to what looks to be the center of town, or the town square. There you can see 3 men, 2 women, and 2 young boys, all strapped to a pair of stocks. They have tomatoes and rocks placed around them, where people have clearly been throwing stuff at them. The sign hanging over their heads says, malicious unhappiness. There are 2 guards who also stand adjacent. They both seem to be smiling quite widely as they look onto you, and they say, "Hello, travelers. Welcome to the town of Valaki.
Hello.
Stay a while and listen. Here, have a rock. Throw it at this vagrant."
Thank
Thank you.
Do you throw it at one of them?
Yeah.
The guy already did.
No. Ah. It's-
Yeah.
Ow. Ha ha ha. Good shot.
Hey, that was fun. Can I do another?
Yeah, sure. Oh.
Goliath strike.
This guy's nose starts to bleed.
Oh, jeez.
Please, sir, I'm sorry. I'll be happy, I promise. No. Now you know the rules. 4 days in the stocks. Tisk, tisk, tisk. That's what you get for not taking your medicine. Now you have to get a different kind of medicine.
Why do I like this guy?
And say, sir, have you noticed at all today, or perhaps last night, of someone else not joining in festivities?
Not joining in the festivities, you say? Well, I don't want to be a randy rumor spreader, but I tell you what, I did in fact see someone who didn't seem particularly fond of the feast of the wolf's head spirit. Yes.
No.
Yes, no, indeed. This ne'er-do-well was sneaking around at night, nicking off before we even got a chance to say good morning. He came in through the southern exit and left out the north.
Oh,
He didn't even stop to get his daughter some candy at the local candy store. Oh,
terrible.
unless, of course, they were laden with candy already. Ha! What a good dad.
Yes, Dad.
Esther?
Oh, sorry. So while the garden we were talking, tomatoes. Okay, but the rocks. I'm just slowly taking the rocks, trying to.
Just hiding
That's a
the
bit
rock.
much for me. That's a bit much. It's a bit much.
You start hiding the rocks. There's part where you're hiding rocks from the other passers. You're also hiding rocks from Vagag, who's suddenly taking
Where
them,
do the rocks
pelting them.
go? I'm finding petals now.
Argento, somebody
One
walks
of my
past
pouches
you.
is just like.
Yeah. Argento. So somebody walks past Argento. Cabbages! Fresh cabbages! Also not so fresh cabbages!
I'll have a cabbage.
My cabbage.
I'm sitting there looking with some of the tomatoes in my hands because I've been sniffing and sort of chewing on them politely in the background and look saying, "Oh, cabbage. You have cabbage?"
Oh yes, the finest cabbages this side anywhere. In fact, if you can hit their heads with the head of cabbage, you get a free cabbage.
I look over to Esther. Can I hit them with the cabbage?
As Argento has these... You've never seen this before, Esther. This is actually a first. You see puppy dog eyes on a dragonborn. These huge, big doe eyes look at you, wanting nothing more than to pelt a cabbage at a person in the stocks.
Can you at least try to miss?
I can try.
But I
I'm
can't.
trying, maybe too good. It may just be too good. I may just.
Then I grab a cabbage and I hurl it.
All right, you grab a cabbage. Roll a ranged attack action. You can use your throwing axes for this calculation.
All right, cool.
As you grab hold of the cabbage, you kind of line yourself up. Everyone's kind of watching you now. Like there's like a tiny little crowd.
Oh.
No, that's all right. That's all right. They're not wearing armor. You don't hit them. You don't hit them in the head. You don't hit them in the head. You just pelt it, and it hits one of the men in the body. Oh! Why is the cabbage so heavy?
So I look at the guy and I'm like, that's at least worth half a cabbage, yes?
Don't worry, I
Ooh.
slipped the rock in there.
Well, you know what? The first one is free, but if you'd like, son, I can give you the next one for 1 copper piece.
Okay, for that one.
I start rummaging through my little bag. Do I have any copper?
You said just how much can I get for like a platinum? Just get all right.
3,000 cabbages.
All right. First of all, super quick. By the way, thank you so much for the follow, Victor. You, sir, are a bloody legend. Assuming you're a sir, might be a madam. Who knows? Maybe something else. You know, I don't judge. But if you would like to, throw us a number between 1 to 51, and I will draw a plot twist from my plot twist cards, and I will throw them at my players. Now,
Not cabbages.
I asked the guard, so, sir,
yes.
who might we talk to get a leave pass for today? You see, the fact that that man went through town and didn't stop for the festivities, it's, to be honest, it's making me distraught.
Oh, yes, no, it makes me distraught as well. Wait, no. Wait, so, he says, sorry, wait, 1 moment. You said you were feeling distraught?
Well, only if you stop me from going after him to bring him back to the festival.
So that means I would be making you distraught.
You would be.
This is quite
Because
the
I'm
dilemma.
so happy at the moment.
Don't make me throw a stone at you as I get this.
Well, I suppose it makes sense for you to go out and seek this person. And I tell you what, I'll do you one better. In fact, I am quite good friends with the Baroness and Baron. If you were to come back with this scallywag who managed to sneak out before the festivities, I'm fairly sure that they would reward you with a hearty meal and a wide and warm welcome.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
Fantastic! Allow me to escort you myself.
Excellent. Well, that's just made my day.
Ah, well, I'm so glad to hear it. Come, I'll show you around town while we're on our way to leave.
Huzzah! I throw a cabbage at the stockman.
Yeah, make a ranged attack. You see Esther is just sort of sitting there going, why? Just moral compass. Moral compass is just like, oh, look. Behold, the lovely architecture.
Oh, wait, no, it's next. Nah.
Is there any way to impose to give an opposite of an help action to someone so that I can push him?
You just
shove him?
push
You've been picking up the rocks and just all of a sudden we get cabbages.
Yeah, I get the rocks out and I
Pick up
just
the
like
cabbages.
Yeah.
I just
Now we
shake
find
a rock in my hand.
tomatoes.
So Vigag, as you go to like you go to throw the cabbage, a rock hits you on the side of the head and you miss.
It's something else.
All right. You begin to make your way northward, having traveled along the southern road and now making your way north. You are shown to the Blue Water Inn, a kind of a smoky kind of sort of halfway house that's in town, and you pass it because you're not obviously staying because you're going to go and look for this person. Heading up to the north, you then pass the Wacha. Sorry, pardon. Delicious beverage. The Wacha's house. It's Wachterhaus, and I don't know how to say it, so it's Wacha House.
Yeah, the good old Wactor.
Water.
Which, of course, he explains is a noble's house, a very infamous and very important individual who happens to have invented a way of telling the precise time.
No way.
Yes, it's very egotistical, but they're calling it a wacht.
Huh.
Don't you mean a watch?
No, it's a wacht. W-A-C-H-T, right? It's a wacht.
Oh.
That's how you say it. That's what the device is. It's not a watch. I mean, where's the phlegm when you have to say what it is? Anyway, he says yes. He says no. He says, do not worry. Anyway, Lady Fiona Wacht is, of course, also the local priest here as well. So be on your best behavior because she can see the house of sin from her home.
Oh, so we better walk out?
I like you, sir. All right.
Check my watch.
Take out another rock.
What time is
All right.
I just no, it's a walk. I swear. It's like,
I have intimidation material now, and I'm gonna use it.
I swear by
I
all the
stockpiled these
gods.
rocks. I stockpiled all these rocks now.
All right. You make it to the edge of town where the god very, very happily waves at you and says, "Fare thee well, travelers. We hope to see you again soon. Don't forget the festivities. You have your pikes on you."
I take mine back from Argento. I do.
And he watches as you vacate and you leave.
Bye.
All
I
right.
got free pikes. This is cool.
Now, from the town of Vlaki, you travel northbound until you come to the edge of what looks to be the Lake Zarovic. During this time, it's about maybe 2 or 3 hours. You may, if you wish to, briefly talk about Vlaki if you would like.
That seems like
place
a
is
delightful
interesting.
place.
Yes.
Welcome to Vlak, it's a perfect town. No, sorry.
Argento, you really enjoyed those cabbage throws. That was pretty cool.
Cabbages and tomatoes and everything. It was wonderful.
It's like a holiday in the summer.
Yes.
Well, perhaps we can stop in there again on the way back.
It seemed like a happy bunch. Everyone was happy. Nice place.
We must make that man suffer for not being happy.
It does, however, remind me of an old Ren and Stimpy cartoon with the happy helmet. Stick it on it.
Be happy fun.
I'm so happy.
I'm so happy. Stimpy, you idiot. No, sorry. All right. After a couple of hours of travel, you reflect on the really nice town. It's probably the nicest place you've been since you've arrived in Barovia. Eventually, you come to the expanse of a large lake. It is at the foot of a mountain nestled between the misty forests. The water is perfectly still and dark, reflecting the black clouds overhead like a monstrous mirror. Next to you, you see a series of rowboats that are lined up along the bank here. Footsteps lead over to them, and drag marks of one of the rowboats leads out and onto the lake.
Were there any other boats?
There are 3 boats in total.
And anyone around, or just the boats?
No one around. No one around at all. Just the boats.
Maybe.
And we see the other side of the lake.
Can you see the other side of the lake? You can. It's very distant, though.
So we can't see that there's another boat or anything over there.
Correct. Make a perception check as you scan the waters.
Perception. Eight.
All right. Hey, welcome to the Evandale party. Nice to see you guys. Thank you so much. What a surprise seeing so many wonderful people. G'day guys. Listen, for those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Michael. I'm the Dead Aussie Gamer. I do role-playing games. Here I am. Look, this is my face. And of course, if you are joining us, we are playing Curse of Strahd. Our group of heroes have just arrived at a spooky lake and are stealing a raft. They have just left a town filled with nothing but happiness and joy, which is not suspicious at all in Barovia. And they're currently looking for a small child who is in the company of an adult that does not belong to her. The hope is that our group will be able to save this child from its kidnapping and return it to her family. Our group consists of Vagag, the Goliath Chronomancer, Argento, our Dragonborn Paladin, Demiro, our Satyr Bard, and Esther, our Changeling Cleric. And if you are brand new to the channel, then may I please ask, can you give me a number between 1 to 51? Because I love interacting with the audience, and I will draw plot twist cards based on the number you give me, and they will influence the course of the game. So please do that. And yeah, plot twists will happen. Okay, meanwhile, back onto the lake while we assort these numbers. You guys can see that there are 3 unattended rafts along the bank, and 1 raft with your perception check is currently on the water. You can't see much beyond it though.
We can see it out there.
Yeah, it's floating out there. You don't see who's on it, but there is a single raft there.
How far out is it?
It's about maybe 700 feet, give or take.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
It's out there. Like when I say this is like a big ass
okay.
lake, this is a big ass lake. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. I was gonna say with the 30, I'll just pull it in, but you're good.
Michael?
Sorry? Yeah, yes, Esther.
Sorry. So you said they're rowboats, right?
Correct.
Okay. I'm gonna look at that bracelet I got. What colors are the 3 stripes of leather?
The 3 stripes of leather are red, blue, and orange.
I'm trying to remember something. I think I'm gonna mention that whenever I got the bracelet, I remember getting a vision of someone rowing, and I'm trying to recall if the 3 colors that I see are similar to the 3 colors that the children were wearing. I'm trying to figure that out.
They are indeed.
Okay. I'm gonna tell them the 3 colors in the rowboat.
All right. You do so.
Well, I'm sure no one would mind if we borrow one of their boats.
I mean, we could always leave behind a fee for renting.
We'll write an IOU.
Yeah, I like that one.
All right.
You both?
Right.
Stepping up to the boats, you can tell very quickly that they are fishing boats. There's line, there's tackle, there's nets in there. And taking one of the boats, you quickly move it onto the water. Argento, it is, of course, no small part that you and Vagag use your strength to kind of drag it off the beach and onto the water. Now, who here has nautical experience? Excellent. Please make me please make me a athletics check as you begin to row. All right, Vagag, you begin to set sail, moving out onto the lake. As mentioned, it is pristinely still, creating a mirrored effect, so you don't see too much in the way of ripples or anything. Can I get a perception check from everyone as you begin to make your way across? All right. Very nice. Very nice. Okay. You begin to move across the lake. And as you do, you eventually come to what looks to be a small dinghy out on its own. On the top of it appears a very sweaty, bulbous, and rather ugly-looking individual. One you recognize from earlier. It is, of course. Where is he? It is, of course, Bluto. And let's just share our image of this gentleman here. Apologies while I just find where this bastard is hiding. There we go. I was like, where the hell is my Curse of Strahd pictures? There we go. All right, and boop. There we go.
No.
All right. You can see this rather large individual. He sort of seems to be sitting there, hands shaking, his hands placed by the sides of his head as you row towards him.
Is his name Bluto because he's blue?
Yes.
He's blue,
Yeah, look in the water.
Looking in the water, it is pristine and clear. You look down, and you don't see much. You may make another perception check if you want, or an investigate check if it is somehow better.
Not anymore.
Very well.
Okay, let's see. Sorry. This one's good. Oh, freaking going. Sorry. Time with passion.
Ooh. Looking down into the water, you can see bubbles. 2 or 3 of them. Then another 2 of them. Then 1 of them. Then no bubbles.
I take off my shoes and I dive in.
Sorry?
I take off my shoes so I can dive in.
Okay, you begin to take off your shoes. You watch as Esther is quickly taking off her shoes.
Do we just see that guy on the boat?
Yeah, it's just that guy on the boat.
And that's the one we've been chasing, right?
That is the guy you've been chasing.
Are we close enough? Like, how close are we now to his boat?
As close as you'd like to get. He is not running away. He is not struggling. He is not resisting. He is just, like I said, trembling upon his little rowboat.
Can I shape water to have a current?
Oops. Stop
in
that, you.
like to help Esther go down into the water faster until I can't see anymore.
Sure. You prepare to shake the water to allow them to allow Esther to move.
Oh, there we go. I'll call out to him. You there?
He stands up. Well, he sort of turns very sharply. You again? I have nothing to say to you.
You just said something to me.
Well, you don't understand. It had to be done. The fish are all gone. The demands, the things you see are just. He quickly reaches down into his dinghy and pulls out what looks to be a bottle. He cracks it open, and he just sort of. It couldn't be helped. It had to be done for the good of all of them. It's just.
What had to be done for the good of everyone?
I know she was just a small girl, but she was a tiny girl. Better than one of ours, what I say. And without the fish, everyone suffers. The beast had to be appeased for the fish to come back.
Beast?
Oh, so you sacrificed her to the lake.
I dive in.
Esther, you dive in. Make an athletics check as... while she does that, Argento, there's a little bit of time if you would like to have done something as well.
Yeah, I basically grab a hold of my hand axe and I'm just ready to actually attack. I'm not going to attack him, but you can tell I'm getting very, just angry and upset at the fact of what he's done. And I would probably say to him, "You better hope the girl is okay."
You'd better hope that she's not. The creature does not forgive easily.
What is the creature?
The master of the lake, put here by Strahd to oversee us, to make sure that we remain fearful of his great power.
I see Esther swimming down.
Such a small sacrifice. How could it be satisfied with that?
It's not the quality of the sacrifice. It's the quantity. It's been taking fishermen. It's been taking people.
So surely then someone like yourself would be a vast quantity.
He stops for a moment. And as you say that, his eyes begin to go white. He rises in his boat and he says, You're quite right. Quite right indeed. And he places his arms out and then falls backwards off his boat.
Well, that was easier than I thought.
All right. Athletics check once again for Esther as you continue downwards. Vagag is providing you a bonus with, as he controls the currents using his magics, the swirling vortex of water churning around you and casting you deeper and faster than you would on your own. As you swim down, you notice where the bubbles have come from, and you can see a blue dress in like lying down on the basin of this rather deep lake. The water is getting cold, and you can even feel the pressure squeezing up against you from all your limbs as you get deeper and deeper and deeper in.
Okay. I thought I rolled. I'm sorry, it didn't show up. One more time.
Ooh,
Nice. All right. Eventually, you come to the bottom, and you reach down and you pick her up. She is cold and she is not breathing. As you begin to pull your weight up, that it is then you notice something. A dark and looming shadow moving through the lake, with next to no current except for the one that Vagag is making, which creates that vortex. Something has taken notice. Something is moving towards the boat.
Let's see. I'm gonna start swimming up. If I can.
Very well. Make an athletics check. Meanwhile, on top of the boat, can I get everyone to make me a perception check?
I'm just focusing on Mister.
Very well. All right. As you guys look, waiting, Esther, you see Bluto sink into the abyss of the water. And swiftly, oh, so swiftly, but with almost absolute silence, despite its immense size, something, without even breaking swimming pace, snatches up Bluto. Demiro, Vigag, and Argento, you see the water suddenly stained red.
Uh-oh. Do I no longer see Esther?
You no longer can see Esther.
Start yelling out, Esther!
You cry
I
out.
will
I cast
cast,
Major.
I'll cast Long Strider on myself and then dive down.
All right. You dive into the waters, now murked by the scene of carnage. You see bits of flesh floating in the water, emanating the red that dyes the lake. And below you see Esther with the child swimming upwards, using only her leg power in order to do so. And it is then that you see the creature. You see...
Oh.
That's a big eel.
It is a long-necked, giant reptile of some kind. Its body is heaving and hulking, its teeth razor sharp, and in its jaws it chews on the last remnants of a Bluto. It is... Well said.
Dun, dun, dun.
All right, we're going to go into initiative as Esther and Demira are in the water. And the plesiosaur, as it happens to be, gets ready to attack. Vigag, you are up first. Thus far, you don't see anything wrong. You just see the stillness of the water still disrupted by your swirling of water as you're trying to create a vacuum to pull your friends back up.
Okay. Well, and then Demiro jumped down, casting Longstrider. He can maybe help pull her up. So I'm gonna stop casting the Shape Water, and as seeing the red water now, it worries Vigag. So one, he's gonna cast Mage Armor. Get some armor on me.
That was the sound of Vigag falling overboard. Vigag now down! No, I'm joking.
Yeah, that was an action. So I guess that's all I can really do right now. As soon as I see them come up, I'm going to attempt to pull them out of the water.
All right. Demiro, you can see the creature is circling underneath, and it sees Vigag has stopped. But because the water is no longer churning, it's created that mirrored glass look again. You can tell the lizard sees Vigag looking down over the side of the boat, and it seems to stealth like a prowling predator, ready to snatch him up.
Can the pike be thrown underwater?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, very well, as it is a piercing weapon.
Yeah.
It's almost as if your Fate Master had prepared to give you a bunch of piercing weapons just in time to harpoon something really big and scary.
Yeah. So I'll try and spear it to distract it from eating Vigag.
All right, make your attack. Using your spear, you aim and you as it flies through the air. Well, through the air, through the water, sails through the water. Oh yeah, let me put it on the map here real quick. There we go. Plesiosaur.
Wink.
Yum 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 yum.
Blink. Oh, do I still have that effect, by the way? The one the hag gave me.
Which effect?
The deal half damage and strength.
Yeah, you still have that.
Oh, I'm so old. Okay.
I'm so old.
Listen, everyone, I haven't mentioned this before, but I think the hag did something to me. I can't feel my legs. Also, when did I get this wheelchair?
Magical wheelchair.
Just forgotten that this hag aged you.
I thought that was just while she like was attacking me.
Nah, you need to rest to get rid of it.
Okay. Oh gosh.
The the weapons section doesn't seem to be expanding out properly.
Oh, that's fine. Just make a range. Just
I rolled a 14 on the d20 and I got +4, so it's 18.
an 18, you say. Well, that'll hit the plesiosaur. As it does so, deal your damage.
I don't know what it is for this.
For a pike, let's just go with a long spear. Or a short spear. Or a spear. Just a spear.
Yeah, d6.
Yeah, d6 will do. Let's see. Weapons. There we go. And
You can just add it to his inventory. It'll add it to his actions.
Yeah, but the weapon actions aren't working. I don't know if it's just me, but
all right, there you go. I've added the pike to the chat, so you guys can see it is a 1d10 weapon. All right, throw your pike. Deal a d10 damage.
Add your effect strength. What?
I'm gonna roll. There we go.
All right, 3 damage. Well, it does indeed work. And the creature unleashes a terrifying...
Quite loud underwater.
Oh yeah, for being underwater, that is incredibly loud. As it moves its way towards you. Now, let's see, swim speed 40 foot.
Ooh.
Is Esther still below me?
Yes, Esther is still below you. It definitely sees Demiro. And Demiro, it is you that it is coming for.
I'll move to the side, like away from where Esther's swimming up.
Very well. You move away, luring the creature beyond. It swings past you and opens its mouth. And as it does so, a set of serrated teeth bite into your side, dealing 11 damage. Vigarg and Argento, you can see another side of the boat starts to have more of those red patches. You also hear the sound coming from underwater.
Oh.
Argento, it's your turn.
All right. Is it within range for me to throw the pike at it? Would that work from above water?
No one spearfishing was.
Yeah.
Looking down and below the water, you see the silhouette of it. Yes, you can throw your pike if you would like to.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing much else I can do at this stage other than jumping. Even then, I'll attempt to throw the pike at it.
All right. You throw your pike downwards towards it.
Here's what it does. Oh,
Oh no.
the worst.
Good shot.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right, with a natural 1. Yeah. Let's see. How can we make things super bad? All right. I know how we can make things super bad. You miss, but not only do you miss, you thrust the spike thoroughly into the bottom of your boat. Ka-chank! You stop and you look at Vagag. Vagag, you look at him. Both of you turn and you're like, okay, Argento, whatever you do, don't move. Argento, I need you to make me a dexterity saving throw as you attempt to stay as perfectly still and distribute as much power from your hand as you needed. That's fine. You're holding it. You're like, but that is now like a mine. As soon as you take your hand off, there is a big gaping hole in your boat. Esther, you are holding your breath below the waters. You know the little girl does not have long. She's been underwater for at least 10 seconds now, holding her breath.
Okay. Let's see. So how far am I from the surface?
40 foot.
Okay. And let's see.
You also see Demiro, by the way, in the distance.
Okay. Let's see. What can I do?
Wrestling.
Sorry?
Demiro's wrestling with the creature, just like one-on-one. Also, thank you so much for coming and hanging out, Crit Happening Gaming. Guys, if you haven't checked him out, go check out his channel. It has got full of amazing content. It's absolutely wonderful. For what it's worth, we are about to wrap up, which we will do at the end of the round. So, thanks for stopping by, dude. All right.
Okay. First thing I want to do is I want to take my tiny spear, the Yakula, and I want to try to throw it towards the plesiosaurs.
All right, make your attack.
Okay. Oh wait, I forgot. Sorry about that. Where is it? Come on. Doesn't wanna go. There it is. There it is.
Nice! A solid hit as the spear hits the neck of the giant creature. It roars as it twists its head. Your weapon is stuck in its neck and it's trying to reach it to pull it out. Very nice. All right. As this happens,
And then, may I swim up a bit with my movement?
you may, and as you do so, you cast your gaze downwards, trying to kind of, make sure she's okay, kicking to kind of focus on swimming upwards, and that is where you see it. Underneath the waves, at the bottom of the lake here, a series of ancient ruins, consumed by the waves, overgrown with seaweed, with weeds and moss and algae. And in all depictions, there are people worshipping and praying to a long-necked god. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is where we're going to be stopping for the night, as we will return to continue the Battle of the Beasts next week when we come back for more Curse of Strahd. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming and joining us today. As always, we're going to do a quick breakdown of the session today, have a quick chat and see what everyone thinks, and then we're going to go raid someone so you guys can earn those big dag dollary dues for your for what you would like to do. And yes, I did notice that 10,000 dag dollary dues has been earned now by Edvinson. Which is super dangerous, because 10,000 is not only very impressive, and thank you for hanging out on my stream for so long, dude, but also it gets used for random NPCs. So wandering NPCs are where you can import, the audience can import their characters into my games. So he's got one locked and loaded, so there you go. Now, if you guys have any questions for the cast or for myself, leave it in chat and we'll get to it at the very, very end. So, let's start with today's adventure. Argento! How do we go for today, mate?
Other than putting a hole in the boat, it was good. It was a good sort of round. I think it started off a bit of a throwback there, touching on the backstory of Argento a bit, but getting to the town of fun. I think one of the funnest bits I've had in this entire game was asking Esther if I could throw a cabbage at somebody.
No, it was so good. That was so good. I mean, I love Argento, and I love more and more of him becoming a bit more revealed. The dream sequence was very interesting because I could have very well had it be like this is the past, but I kind of wanted it to make it so it's like, well, it's not the past, it's just kind of like memories mixing up with like dreams and stuff.
Well, I thought I just touched on that. I thought what was really good is the Warhammer obviously is to warn me of any kind of danger, and whether I'm sleeping or not, as long as it's on me, I can be awoken for anything. So I thought that playing on that was clearly being told to wake up and knowing, obviously as a non-character, what was going on. Feeling like, okay, something is wrong here, but I thought it was played really well, and in the end, it was a great tie-in. So
nice. I'm glad you liked it. Vagog?
Today was great. I definitely had a good time with the town. Like that whole thing was just amazing. Like the whole Vagog's like, oh, I'll take part in your rock throwing, and then.
So I'll be a little bit honest about the town. The town's description is a lot different to what I read out and how I was running it, mostly because it inspired me in a different way. Like there are signposts for things like the festivals and stuff, but I thought to myself, how cool would it be if we had a town where every single day was a new festivity? And they treated it like the best day of the year every single day, and you had to be happy all the time or else. And I love that, and I kind of latched onto that as an idea. And so that's
the stocks.
It's like, how dare you frown?
The best day ever, every day.
Malevolent Unhappiness was the name. So that stuff was in the game, but I loved building the town and making it a little bit more lively. It's fun. It's high energy is my wheelhouse, and I love playing in those kind of things. So I'm glad you enjoyed that. Demira, how do we go for today?
Yeah, good. It's probably a little bit more horror than we've had in past sessions, which is good. Sort of getting our feet wet on that side of the adventure.
Mm-hmm.
And now it seems like we're in Battle of the Titans, fighting gods.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, this thing is pretty gnarly, especially when it's got the home ground advantage. I mean, I tell people this all the time. One of the reasons why I'm Australian but I hate surfing is because I know what it's like to be flat-footed in the water with sharks. No, thank you. I'm good. But no, it'll be very interesting to see everyone like deal with that next week, because this battle is just again another one of those improvised things. And you know what? I'm gonna put this out there. I did get given another "Have a Nice Trip" cards, and I was very tempted to play that and give you guys just like, yeah, no, nothing happens. But I've chosen not to. But I do have a.
It doesn't have to be literal. Like there could have been the send off for Bluto. Have a nice trip.
Yeah,
yeah, that's true. That's true. Or it could have been when Argento like missed with his spear, like.
Damn it.
Yep. Have a nice trip. So yeah. But yeah, we might play some of these ones next week. We'll see how we go, because we'll have a whole new set again next week as well.
I'm also a little concerned of if we actually beat this thing, what that might mean. Because
what are the implications?
Some kind of worshipped ancient being, then it's. I mean, getting eaten by it's not good, but maybe killing it's not good either.
Yeah, that's true. True enough. But of course, that'll have to wait till next week to find out. Esther, how did we feel about today? How do we go today?
I thought today was very fun. Yeah. Sorry.
Did you have any favorite moments?
I'm trying to think. I guess I just really enjoyed interacting with everyone. Just I had more moral quandaries watching them throw rocks at people than I did the meat pies.
Here we are dealing with witches eating meat pies, and you guys are throwing rocks at people for real. Yeah, that's
Cabbages too.
and
Yeah,
cabbages and stuff. Yeah, no, that's awesome. I love it. No, it's great. How did you find the witches? Yeah.
I thought that was really cool, honestly. I thought, well, I'm trying to think, there was something specific I caught. I guess I'm curious why Morgantha was so invested in getting me to join her at first, to the point of actually being angry whenever I seemed like I was going to object.
Interesting question. I think for the most part, and I will happily tell you this, because as a witch, you would know that the strength comes from the sisterhood. The more witches operating in Barovia, the stronger their power is as a whole. Morgantha is not happy that she's in Barovia, much like most of the people who live here aren't. But with more witches out there, especially changelings who are part hag as well, it gives them a chance to be able to gain enough power to overthrow Strahd, potentially. So you, without meaning to, kind of implied that, no, you've got to stay here and try this on your own, which made her angry. But it's not, she's a whole other thing. And she will definitely be a recurring appearance throughout the game. Rest assured of that. And she definitely has... We're in trouble
if all the recurring enemies keep showing up together.
Yeah. Yeah,
like
we've
also
also
the arm of the troll coming in with the hag.
Yep. You got a whole bunch of them. Well, that's because you got to start killing your bad guys and not sort of. This isn't a catch and release adventure.
The troll we fought lost an arm, right?
He did.
Yeah.
And the hag that we fought lost a hand.
So there's one troll armed hag.
Oh wait. If we put them all together, eventually we would have enough body parts, and then maybe we can follow them out of all the bad guys who can fight them off for us.
Friend. Yeah, no.
How are you going to go fighting yourselves? It's like a mirror image, right?
And just like that, our characters have become Frankenstein. All right. Question for the players from Edvinson. Who wants to have pie for dinner this week? You know what? Dead serious. I want a pie this week. Like, I want a pie right now.
I've got 3 in the fridge. Yeah. I was thinking of having one.
Apple pie specifically.
No, for me, it would be a pepper steak pie. Big, juicy, meaty pepper steak pie.
I've got a kangaroo pie.
They're pretty good.
Oh, I didn't even know you could eat kangaroo.
Maybe, of course we can. Actually, fun fact, Australia. A fun fact: Australia is one of the only countries in the world that eats the animals on its heraldry.
Correct.
It's not our fault; they're delicious. Okay.
Send me some. I want to try
it. Maybe. All right, guys. In the meantime, however, we are now going to bid everyone fare thee well. We are going to pass the buck on now to Daleric. Daleric's up and about. Let's go and say hi to Daleric. Again, another fantastic and wonderful streamer with a bunch of very, very cool content. Again, be sure to go check them out. Check out Crits Happening. And, of course, a very, very special thank you to GPU_TTV. I am absolutely going to give this individual a follow and check out more later on down the track. It is now on my list. It is now my to do thing. But come join me. Come join me and check out some of their streaming and the like. And of course, Third War Gaming. I saw you, Third Floor War. Again, a whole bunch of very, very cool streamers there. And if I forgot you, please understand, it's not because I don't love you. It's just because there are so many of you amazing content creators out there in the world, and I wish I could just give all of you tons and tons and tons of love. Yes, kangaroos can pie. Kangaroos can pie. Kangaroos absolutely can pie. Actually, if I had to be dead honest, rather than a kangaroo pie, kangaroo sausages.
Oh, yeah, man.
Yeah, I've got them in my freezer.
Oh, you bastard. Yeah. No, kangaroo sausages are where it's at. Yeah, definitely. If you can ever get your hands on kangaroo sausages, that's the way to go.
That's my preferred sausages.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, without any further ado, let's go and raid our friends over at Daleric. This guy is absolutely amazing. He is such a creative individual, and they're currently running Aurum, which is a very fun little RPG that they've got going. So thank you once again, everyone. Thank you for the bits. And hey, if you're still there, dude, I hope that your day and hope the rest of your week keeps on being cracking. And yeah, we'll catch you guys next time. Thank you so much. Till next time, game hard or die trying. Good night, everybody.
See ya.
Bye.